Hi, I'm Jason Weaver, and I could drive 55 if I wanted to. I just don't want to.
And I'm Eric Kostecki. I fought the law and got a $5 million cash settlement. Thanks, American legal system. So that's where my pencil was!
So, two Jews walk into a bar.
Do you always have to have the last word?
No. While racing could be considered a very boring sport for all who aren't actively participating in it, the spectacle is somewhat livened up one fateful day when a naked dead woman morphs into a horrible biomech zombie ninja monstrosity and storms the racetrack, killing everyone in front of it. Reigning champion Garrett, not one to use his head for thinking, continues racing, even when a mysterious black figure appears to engage in sometimes awkward CG combat with it. After the black one kills the other one, Garrett celebrates by throwing himself off his bike for some reason, thus crippling his legs up. No longer able to race, convince his girlfriend to stay with him, or just dance the night away, things begin getting grim, given Garrett's grief.
But hope arrives in horribly unnatural green and yellow hair, wearing a lab coat. The unknown woman offers Garrett a pill that will either give him the use of his legs back, and maybe turn him into a horrible abomination of science and nature, or make him trip balls and die. This creature is revealed to be Garrett Frenson. Not only having received a boost to his legs, he has also acquired a brand new monster form. While he is hailed as a hero by the public for destroying the ugly things, a bunch of motorcycle cops known as the XAT decide to keep him under the watchful eye of people who see out of their noses.
What the hell does XAT stand for?
Well, extreme? No. This is gonna drive me nuts now.
Xenophobic acrobat training?
Yes, comrade. Flip for Mother Russia.
Yeehaw! Can I try it?
No. Fortunately, Garrett's bestest boyfriend Herman believes his new monster form won't change Garrett at all. Unless it just so happens that Garrett's ex wants to get back together with him and screw his former manager on the side and he catches them. But it turns out Angela's twin was only using Bartholomew to steal the diamond to revive her frozen grandmother back from the dead in a dream that lasted the whole ninth season. So Garrett hulks out and accidentally infects the two of them with his blood, eventually causing them to do the monster mash. After they bite the dust, Garrett struggles to hold on to what few marbles he has left. Herman and the gray-headed stepbrother of his well-cleaven teammate desperately try to keep him from hurting any more of the people who never really liked him in the first place.
Thus is the moral for nearly the entire series. An eye for an eye is a really gross economy. And since Malik, the little brother from earlier, is such a Garrett groupie and was bullied because he isn't from the place he is now, supports all of the dying. Herman figures he can be brought out of his slump by seeing Garrett have a friendly race to show that he is strong enough to not be completely overcome by the monster inside him and have to be put down by the Blassreiter. But then that's exactly what happens. Malik is soon approached by a woman sporting a familiar terrible dye job and is offered the same pill Garrett was, to get payback on the bullies that drove his friend to play Ultimate Hangman. Contrary advice from the broody Blassreiter Joseph notwithstanding, Malik takes the pill and makes the bullies just a little bit less alive. Xerox Atangelo?
3, 2, 1! After being shielded once by Joe and then again because his sister's boobs recognized him in monster form, Malik takes the Blassreiter and hides in a church, where a man-pre-man named Zargi confronts him and knocks Malik around like he was an altar boy, causing him to realize that killing isn't as fun when it's hard to do. Malik and Joe are found in time to be brought back to XAT HQ, but all is not well since the commander was also visited by green hair and a low-cut dress to take the pill, because the sex was good enough to make him think he's the chosen one. Like most chosen ones, the commander betrays the XAT and sends unholy legions of robot zombies after them, thus spelling bad news for Herman, Chesty LaRue, that one other guy, and I think there was a third one maybe.
Due to the commander feeling like today is a good day to make people die, Miss Mounds and Joe are the only ones who make it out with their lives intact. Joe recounts the story of how he was an orphan immigrant, and since nobody likes those, he was beaten up and nearly set on fire multiple times. Then he met Zargi, his long-lost sister who makes nanomachines, and dies, so Zargi uses her stuff to become the first magic monster man, and kept his powers to himself so he can take over the world unopposed. Is what I would be saying he didn't make the inexplicably stupid decision to purposely infect Joe with his blood just to see if he could stop him. A new organization called Zwolf then captures Joe and the walking milk factory and takes him to the rest of the plot.
Xenographed armadillo tragedy.
No, Mr. Armadillo Pants! He's already dead! Oh my god! What have I created? I'm running out of children to throw in! Oh no! Use the puppies! Oh god! I taught it 400 ways to kill a man, but I never told the public! No patience! Take all of them now!
Never forget. Zwolf is the Knights Templar and made Joe's sister a cyborg. She tells Joe to put on a collar of agony that will make him too pissed off to control because those at Zwolf think this is a good idea, having presumably never seen a sci-fi movie in their lives, and they want Selma Hayek to fight for them as well. They agree and Hermann is back from the dead as the Dude. How, he can't recall, but it has something to do with his new ability to transform into the Red Ranger from hell and steal motorcycles because you're not the boss of me, old man! Hermann, the Big Red Lebowski, teams up with a couple of Germany-grown melons to take down their former commander, who was killed by a former team member he brought back to life, but then betrayed him and re-killed himself.
Joe is approached by a girl named Snow. He used to know. There's flashbacks, and she dies quickly. Doesn't that blow? This gets repeated ad nauseum throughout the remainder of the series. Someone makes a noble sacrifice, there's flashbacks, that would make you feel sad if the characters had more dimensions on a piece of paper, and then they're dead. Thanks for playing. Next! After the original Pill Lady and Hermann give each other a dose of death, Malik snaps out of his coma, runs off to confront Sargin with all his new determination, and gets his ass kicked. Then Joe takes the undo bad things pill made through the efforts of about half the dead schmucks we showed you, and rides to fight Sargin all proper and climactic.
Joe gets taken out of the fight pretty quickly, so since he didn't stay alive long enough, the pill doesn't get to work. Unless Garrett and Hermann are able to possess his body without any given reason and hold off Zargin until Joe turns into a statue that makes it rain pink and everything bad and ugly goes away forever. In the future, Malik's hair grows even weirder, all Hooters are now safely sealed away, and everyone else gets to be a hologram. Got it? Good. He's dark, he's edgy, he carves statues of the Virgin Mary to look deep, and his motorcycle is equipping Variel. He is the brooding Jesus stand-in your panties have been waiting for. He was also about as interesting as untoasted bread. Look at you! What man would have you? Amanda's character is that she... her personality is... what motivates her is... Tagging!
Being the only character who actually develops in the story would have been a huge advantage if he hadn't spent half of it unconscious. But at least he learned hurting people who hurt you previously isn't right. Even though right after waking up, he tried to hurt someone who hurt him previously. The thing about Blassreiter is that it tries so hard to be this edgy, dark, and hardcore narrative, but ultimately the pacing ruins the whole image it tries to create for itself. Characters are introduced left and right and die about as quick as Speedy Gonzales on cocaine. This upsets me since I start to like most of these characters and then they just go die or go into a coma. Malik! The other thing the pacing ruins is the impact of the story. For example, the whole German youth master race was really interesting, but it sped by so quickly that it just ended up being funny and stupid. Blassreiter could have been something great, the pacing would have slowed down, or just have gone into a coma. Malik!
One thing you can't accuse Blassreiter of not being as straightforward. But if it wants to make a statement about bullying discrimination, it needs to be something more complex than "don't do it." That's done to death by kindergarten. Explore why the members of one group pick on the members of another, instead of portraying those involved as either
God bless us, everyone!
little lambs and "I'm going to wear newborn babies as shoes" villains made entirely out of racism and dead relatives. Other than that, the CG fight scenes can be entertaining when the camera isn't tied to a Super Bowl. So if you want some boobs and neon colors, watch this or go to Spencer's, whichever's quicker. You know, looking the show over, most if not all of the good guys have significant ties with the church, and all of the bad guys have no ties with the church or abandon those who do. So going by that logic, this show's portraying people who don't go to church as irredeemably evil. And if only evil people don't go to church, this could be Christian.
You do not want to finish that sentence!